Carlito is back in WWE, finally making his return. However, he's been actually signed by WWE for a few months now, and in a recent interview, Carlito detailed why his return was held up, what delayed it. And in this video, we're going to break it down because Carlito's an interesting guy, right? He had a long WWE run in the mid to late 2000s, right? And then he went back to Puerto Rico. For me personally, I'll always remember Carlito as the guy that was involved with a John Cena program in 2004 and had his bodyguard, quote unquote, stab John Cena. I always thought that was memorable. But Carlito was a guy that was well respected for his work rate, for his promos, and for being able to get over and get heel heat. And so when he returned a few years ago for the Royal Rumble, people were like, hey, they should bring him back. And he did a one-off on Raw, and then nothing came about it. And then fast forward to Backlash in Puerto Rico in 2023, he made a surprise return for making the Save for Bad Bunny. And everyone's like, they should sign him. And he was open to it. And the two sides talked, and finally a deal was reached. Fast forward to the Fastlane PLE, he teamed up with Rey Mysterio and Santos Escobar to defeat the Street Profits and Bobby Lashley in a trios match. He had new music, which in this interview that we're about to discuss, admitted that he hates the opening and the change to the theme song, right? But Carlito had actually been signed for several months. He had been signed just a few months ago. And originally he was supposed to make his return at the Madison Square Garden SmackDown. However, if you recall, that was the night where they did that long Bloodline segment that went long. Way too long. And his return was next. And then you had the power play shift between Triple H and Vince McMahon, who's getting the final say on creative, and just everything got delayed. So while appearing on the Cheap Heat podcast, Carlito explained why it took him so long to make his return to WWE television. It's pretty simple. This is what he had to say. Miscommunication on both sides. I thought I had heat with them. They thought they had heat with me. I always had love for WWE. I always wanted to be in WWE, but just needed a break. I didn't need a 13-year break, end quote. So there you have it. I wish he would have detailed a little bit more as to what the exact miscommunication was. I don't know if they just thought, I think he's more referring to like why he had not returned in those 13 years. They thought that they had heat with him and he had heat with them, but like, at the end of the day, nobody talked bad about each other in this regard, right? It didn't work out. But the fact that miscommunication prevented this guy from returning for months, I think he should have been a little bit more vocal, but I get his stance, right? You're returning to the company, you're trying to make a good point. I get it. But still, that's what happened.